Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late May 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Virgo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Virgos in late May 2026? We're in Gemini season. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Virgo in late May. What's the vibe? What's the energy? What do we have going on for our beautiful friends? What is the... Oh, all right, cool. So a lot of High Priestess energy here, which is very intriguing. I don't often get her in the beginning of a reading. Now, I called her the High Priestess. Obviously, this isn't a tarot deck, it's an oracle. But a lot of the symbolism that she exudes reminds me so much of the High Priestess, which could be very beneficial depending on what you're going through. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye. You know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk about this beautiful energy. So if we look over at the image, we see this older divine feminine figure. She is in front of a crystal ball. Looks like she's in a fortune-telling tent, right? A little key within the crystal ball and a lockbox right next to it. And that does imply that she's in charge or possessing of some sort of sacred knowledge or instinct, right? And to me, whenever I see the High Priestess, yes, it's Pisces energy. I also link it to all water signs, so Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. It's highly intuitive. She represents the matron, or she is the matron of psychics, intuitives, tarot readers. So for a lot of Virgos in this time, you may have a very keen instinct, empathy, intuition, more so than you normally do. So like if you're usually tapped into energies in that kind of way, it could be extra. So again, watch your dreams, watch those gut instincts, watch those feelings. Now, one thing about the High Priestess energy that we always have to look out for is, again, the fact that she does possess some sacred knowledge. She doesn't talk so much, so she does represent some sort of mystery, the hidden, the unknown, the unexpected, the occult, right? So it's something we need to watch out for as we move through the reading. Like, okay, is there something that's not on the radar? Do I feel something coming that I can't quite put my finger on? For some of you, maybe it's just as simple as indulging in various different spiritual practices or study. That could be it. But we're just going to let her chill right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. Let's shuffle it up one time here for the beautiful Virgos. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled They Are Nervous, and the energy overall did feel pretty high strung. So not necessarily you, but it could have been someone around you, especially with this intuition and empathy. I was picking up like maybe you're feeling that coming off of somebody else. It's very possible. But yeah, there was this wound tight, anxious, nervous energy pretty heavy in the reading last week. So I hope that wasn't you. I hope you had a good week. We're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for the beautiful Virgos. And do our little energetic weather report here for our good friends. Thank you. Okay. I mean, we're going to have to see how this reading goes. So we start off with the 10 of Swords. And again, just like I mentioned, and before we even start getting into the finer details of these cards, these readings are just an energetic weather report. You have the spark of the divine within you. You are a creator. These don't necessarily have to be your energies, right? It's all about perspective. And these could even be things that have already happened. These don't have to be things that are coming up. These could just be energies that are still lingering with you. 10 of Swords, 5 of Cups is a little rough and rugged, but it's okay. It's all good. So what else do we have here? Okay. So we got the 5 of Wands right on the back end. So we have a lot of 5s. We got the 10 of Swords. For some reason, this feels like an energy that, I don't want to say it's like detoxing, if that makes sense, but it's like an energy that's like working its way through. That's really interesting, the way this is all feeling to me. Because you would think with this alignment of cards, I'd be like, whoa, okay. And again, I'm not taking it lightly, but to me it feels like energy processing or working through or detoxing something. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into the juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. It frames the reading, tells us how the energy is going to flow. And you have a nice mixture this week. It's not too heavy one way or another, right? We got air, water, fire, and then this one I just call it fixed energy. Okay, so these could be different areas of life, totally different things. It doesn't just have to be one thing. Now, when it comes to air, that's more so connected to the mindset, the mind state. Um, Information, giving or receiving it, that's a big thing when it comes to air energy. Communication, that's another big thing that comes along with air energy. So, again, I think it can be good, depending, especially with the Ten of Swords being here. But the downside to air is that sometimes it could overthink a little bit. Sometimes it could be an energy that is a little cold, a little detached, a little numb. So we're just going to keep an eye on it. Then we move over to the water. That's matters of the heart, emotion, things that we care about, things we're emotionally invested in. So it's like we have this internal mixture here in the front between the heart and mind. What I feel versus what I logically think. So there is this little balancing that's going on. Now, the good thing with water, it's very imaginative, it's very creative, it's very expressive. And again, it could represent partnerships, things, or people that we care deeply for. It's a tender type of energy. The downside with water, though, is sometimes it can overwhelm us, right? Like emotions, we all deal with them, right? And so when I see the Five of Cups, it's like, okay, this energy just feels pretty deep. But on the back end, we have fire. That's the realm of action. So you see what I mean? Like we have this buildup of internal energy, and then it comes outward. This is what I really think is important to me, because it's like internal. Whoop, I'm flushing it. I'm pushing it out. I'm working through it. I'm processing it. But when it comes to fire, it's the realm of action. So whether it's actions you take, the actions other people take, it does deal into health and wellness, energy level. So if you're feeling high energy or feeling zapped, the Five of Wands or Wands in general could represent that. The downside to fire, obviously, it could be volatile. It could be explosive, especially since we have air in the front. Those two do that. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with a doozy, and you're not the only one that had this in position number one this week. I think maybe Libra or one of the air signs had it as well. But we have the Ten of Swords. Now, you know me, I always lean optimistic, but that doesn't mean that this is not a challenging card. Now, the Ten of Swords can represent pain, loss, that up and down that I was speaking about, heart and mind. The Ten of Swords can absolutely do that, where it's like I'm trying to logically make sense of something that's emotional. But Ten of Swords classically just represents an end of something. Now, we could go deeper and say, oh, it's a betrayal, or it's just, to me, I just give it a blanket statement, because whenever we get a difficult card, I always say it's on a spectrum, right? Not every Ten of Swords is like the sky is falling down on us, right? It could be something minor. It could be something that's lingering. It could be a holdover from something else, right? So it could be very minor, like grumpy and annoyed, or it could be something major. It really depends on what the story is. Now, the good thing about the Ten of Swords to me is that once it happens, there's no way to go but up, right? Where it's like, okay, that happened, that is what it is, now we move forward. This card does have that kind of energy, where it's like, okay, that's it, all right, cool, now we're moving ahead. Now, moving to the middle, we have the Five of Cups, and it is called the River of Tears for a reason. And actually, whenever I see the Five of Cups, it does usually pair or come in closely with the Ten of Swords. These cards, unfortunately, are like peanut butter and jelly, right? Like they just go together. And we see this person, they're all dressed in black. It looks like they're mourning or grieving potentially. They're upset. And just like this one, it's on a spectrum, right? Like it could be something minor. Maybe you're just feeling a little grumpy. Maybe you just, there's a couple days you're just not feeling like yourself, or someone is. Again, I'm not saying it's you. Life might be peaches and cream, and I will never tell you to claim a message that's not yours. But the Five of Cups it's a little difficult. It's an energy that's a little down in the dumps. So obviously, with this combination on the front, could there be a problem? Could there be a situation? Could there be a warning? Yes to all that. But we really want to clarify to try to get the nuance to see where this energy is going, because I still get this vibe of like detoxing or flushing or working through something. Now, the good thing about the Five of Cups, although it is a little down, is that it's not the end of the road, which is intriguing, right? Because notice 3 cups are spilled. There are still 2 standing. There is stuff off in the horizon. So this person's current situation is not their final destination. That's a quote I always love to say. Your current situation is not your final destination. This too shall pass. Then moving to the back end, we do hit this little, gear shift, vibe switch, right? We go in with the Five of Wands, and this is one of those cards where you do not have to be an expert in tarot to understand what it means, right? We got five people that are beating the crap out of each other with sticks. Now, the good thing about this card is that it is determined. It can't stop, won't stop. This won't keep me down. This energy has a lot of fight, a lot of push, keeps on moving. Now, the downside to it, it's conflict, right? Keep feeling conflicted, whether it's internal or external. So the energy is a little bit wild this week, Virgo, that's for sure. I love that the energy can't stop, won't stop, because it's potentially transmuting all of this, right? It's like taking all of this energy in the front and it's transmuting it into something else, especially when we get here to your bonus card, the World. Now, again, this is another card that could represent endings, close of a cycle, close of a chapter. But this one isn't like the Ten of Swords. This is a slow culmination. Not the end of a story, but we're going from one chapter to the next, where it's like we're closing one chapter, we're opening up a new one. This is a culmination, a metamorphosis, and it can represent change. So yes, we have endings, we have some difficulties with the double fives. Yes, that could represent like tower-like energy as well. But I want to dive deeper on all of it, Virgo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay. Let's get a good shuffle here for my Virgo friends. Let's see what's happening. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Ten of Swords. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Virgo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is the Ten of Swords here? Please. Thank you. Okay, yeah, the energy seems to linger a little bit. It can be healing. So we do have the Six of Swords in reverse underneath it. And this is like something that I seem to keep replaying in my head. So Virgo, in this time, there could be certain things, whether it's something that happened years ago, whether it's something that just happened, like Ten of Swords, Six of Swords in reverse. It's like I keep playing it over and over again, over and over again. There's like something looping in my mind, which again, I'm not going to give advice on how to work through that kind of stuff. Sometimes maybe that's why all this stuff might be being transmuted into fuel for the next course of action. The Six of Swords in reverse can sometimes represent things returning, things popping back up. So part of this to me does feel like a tenderness of something that's already occurred, or something like I'm looking back, I'm reminiscing things that have happened in the past. Like there is this tie to the past I'm picking up. But at the same time, there is something about this that's very healing to me. Usually the Six of Swords, especially in the upright, represents progress. Slow and steady, coming out of the choppy waters into the calm. So when I see it, even in reverse, underneath the Ten of Swords, even if we are seeing an ending of some sort, which we could be with all the stuff we're seeing here. Yeah, there could be certain chapters closing, working through certain things, big changes and shifts and dynamics, all that could be in play. But this energy wants to take its time with healing through that. There's like no rush here. That's one thing I think is important. Like there's no timetable, there's no rush. There is this progress. But I don't know why I keep replaying it. It's like something that's embedded in my mind. So we're just going to keep going. We're going to see what the Five of Cups has. Let's see what the Five of Cups has. And then, yeah, I mean, that's a rough way to start. But again, current situation, not the final destination, right? So why is that Five of Cups here for... All right, yeah, cool. All right. And I still get this like interconnected energy showing up as well. So we have your power card in reverse underneath the Five of Cups. Big Virgo energy right here. And instead of an energy that's retracting and pulling back, this is an energy that's moving forward with something, which I think is actually good. Like there is something, whether it is an ending, whether there is a situation or a problem. And I was getting this in the Capricorn reading where it's like, don't avoid it. Like try not to avoid it. Like maybe the best course is to like hit it straight on, or just like get to the root of something, whatever it might be. And listen, I know there's a lot of Virgos out there going through a lot of different things. This might not even be your energy. It could be somebody else. But it's like, okay, we're not looking at the circumstances. We're looking at the root, and that's what we're attacking here. Short-term pain for long-term gain, potentially. Now, usually the Hermit in the upright, again, wise, doing a lot of introspection, going within, but it's retracted, pulled back. It's not really speaking about things. When I see it in reverse, it's an energy that, boom, it comes forward. It lets these things out. So this energy I've been picking up since the beginning of this, like, detoxing or working through these things or transmuting energies, that shows up here heavily. So I just want to say, for those of you that have recently gone through a difficult time, this energy can actually be transmuted for a good purpose. It can, and that might sound very odd or hard to believe, but that's what I'm picking up here. It's like we're turning a negative into a positive. We're turning lead into gold. We're taking this difficult time and transmuting it for our better, higher purpose, if that makes sense. And I don't want to get too out there. I think you're picking up what I'm putting down, but we're just going to keep moving. And what I was saying earlier in the beginning about you potentially feeding off of someone else's energy, because this isn't somebody alone on an island, right? To me, it's like one person and the other person. There is like this energetic connection and reverberation, mirroring, so to speak. Let's keep moving over to the Five of Wands. Let's see what the Five of Wands has, then we'll do a quick little recap. So the waters are a little choppy here, my good friends, but that's okay. Such is life, right? So let's see why the Five of Wands is here. Let's see. Why is that Five of Wands here? Okay. All right. So we do have the moon in the upright, and it ties in very similarly to what we were seeing in the very beginning with that high priestess type of figure. They have that same shrouded, hidden type of energy, subconscious. For some Virgos, there could be some sort of subconscious healing or reprogramming that could really assist you with whatever it is you're dealing with. So again, even if everything's fine, everything's good, there is also this energy of cleaning my subconscious mind, my beliefs, my assumptions. And I know we hear a lot about this kind of stuff when we speak about manifestation and creating our own reality. But like when I see the Five of Wands with the moon, it's either one of two things. If we're keeping it very, very simple, maybe three. This could absolutely be like an unexpected or a surprising problem or a situation. Okay, so yeah, maybe there's a problem that pops up out of the blue or something that takes you completely off guard. Absolutely, this could be it. But this can also be someone that's heading into the unknown, heading into the future full of oomph, full of motivation. Like, I don't care what lies ahead of me, I keep moving forward. It feels very Aries-like to me, where it's like I just keep pushing. And we've had this the whole way about like attacking the root, attacking the subconscious mind too. Yeah, like with the Five of Wands and the moon, it's like I'm reprogramming my assumptions, my beliefs, and there's something here about my subconscious mind, especially right here next to the world. So yeah, do we have surprising problems, endings, all that stuff? It's here, right? Why ignore it? But the big overarching theme that I like is the fact that it can be transmuted to a positive. It could be transmuted to something that actually works for you as opposed to against you. Wisdom through experience. So let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. If you kindly look in the box, yeah, choppy waters, it's all good, right? But starting here in the beginning, we have the Ten of Swords, Six of Swords in reverse underneath it, something that I keep replaying in my head like over and over again. For another portion of you, it could be a slow, steady healing process where there's no timetable on it. There might be certain things you need to work through. But yeah, we do see an ending here. Absolutely. We see it in two places within the reading. Moving to the center, we have the Five of Cups with the Hermit. This energy does come forth and attack something head on. That's initially what I was picking up, where it's like I'm not avoiding it. I'm going to attack it at the root, whatever it is. Like I'm going to get to the root of something. We have this big transmuting or detoxing going on here in the front end, which I think actually works better in the long run. And then I also get two people potentially mirroring each other, feeling a similar vibe, where it's like I feel their pain, they feel my pain. Here on the back, we have the Five of Wands with the moon filled with motivation. This could absolutely be hitting the future with a ton of gusto, which I really like. This could also represent reprogramming the mind, assumptions, beliefs, perspectives, which is very, very powerful stuff. But it can, yeah, absolutely represent a problem, situation, or even an ending that caught me off guard. That's surprising. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. All right, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get it going here. What do we got for Virgo? What do we got for Virgo? Thank you. Cool. Yeah, Nine of Swords, that's like the big mascot from last week, and it does kind of fit in with what we were seeing here on the front end. And also the Oracle card in the beginning. I know the card looks a little scary there, but usually it's the picture of the dude that's sitting up in bed, hands in the face. If you haven't been getting proper rest, relaxation, and sleep, you might want to tweak your sleep schedule and make sure you're not running on empty. I know that's easier said than done sometimes, but this can also represent the thought loops. So, again, watch out for that. But speaking about the energetic sensitivity, right, up here in the beginning with her, and then the moon, and now this, all of these are highly in tune with subtle energy. So again, if you are empathetic or energy sensitive, you could be feeling that double, triple even in this time. So maybe do some practices, meditations, prayers, or things to ground your energy, whether it's with crystals or walking barefoot out on the earth. There's a lot of different ways where you can kind of ground the energy down, and that could definitely be necessary when we have like this array of energies that I've been seeing. But we're going to put that Nine of Swords down right there, my good friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The May subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My May calendar is up and the spots go quick, so you might want to check it out. But for the May subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to win either a copy of the Tarot of the Owls, beautiful deck, and it's really nice, or 3 custom-made pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, and second, let me know down in the comments, out of the cards that showed up in this week's reading, which one caught your attention most or resonated with you most. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in the Posts tab. My friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.